We're doing everything. All right, so this live is also going to be live on Facebook. We are also live on Instagram and YouTube. What's up, guys? I'm going to start in a second. All right, so today I'm going to be teaching a little about mixing. We're going to take a look at mixing. Let's see. How's that game of mixing? Add details. Here we go. All right, my friends. We are again at it. We are also live on Instagram and on Facebook. And for those that don't know me, I'm Sergio Cavalieri. I'm a producer, mixing engineer, guitar player, business owner, a lot of stuff. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a little about mixing. It's one of the things that I do a lot. So first thing that we got to understand is that mixing is all about control. So this is tutorial number 1. So it's basically from zero. Okay. One of the things that you cannot be lazy about is organizing. What you organize, you can control. What you can control, you can modify, can make it better. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to organize our files a certain way. Let me show you here my screen. For those that are on Instagram, you can go to my page on YouTube, Slam the Giants. Actually, Sergio Cavalieri, my name. I'm streaming from there today. Or you can go to my fan page, Sergio Cavalieri fan page on Facebook, where there you're going to be able to hear the sound from my computer. All right, rather hearing on Instagram, you're only going to hear me talking, which is not ideal, I know. So I have here this session. This is an instrumental session, okay? So when I start mixing, the first thing that I'm going to organize the files a certain way, okay? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to import all the files and color code the files, all right? So the way I have them here in the screen, as you can see, is I have them organized by colors, color coded. Every professional that I know that makes professionally is going to have the sessions color coded. So when I look at this session here, just like any session that I'm mixing, when I'm organizing the files, I know green's going to be drums, percussion's going to be this color kind of brownish, bass going to be purple. So I see here there's 3 basses. Guitar is going to be blue. Keyboard's going to be this light green. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is I'll import all the files, make sure they're all synced. I'm going to go through file by file. I already did that before, and I'm going to color them. Okay, then third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create groups and buses and VCAs. Okay, so let's talk about it. What is a group. Here on Pro Tools, a group is nothing else, nothing different than just a form of having all the channels of that particular instrument being controlled at the same time. So on Pro Tools, here I have my drum group. Okay, I'm gonna delete this group for now just so and again, this is a basic, starting mixing tutorial for those that are just starting. But it's very important because a lot of times we don't know the basics, and that's what hurts us. Okay, so here on Pro Tools, I'm going to use Command G if you are on a Mac. Sorry for that, guys. So Command G with the file selected. Okay, so I selected all my drums and I go Command G. And I'm going to go here, groups. On group, I'm going to call group D for drums. Okay, then I'm going to select letter D. I already previously created a VCA channel. I'm going to address that to a VCA. Actually, let's just create the group. So by doing this, if I press OK, now I have all those files, all those drum files, and I have my controller here on the iPad. I'm using this iPad today, and from here I can control, can play, stop, and do all kinds of stuff. Cool stuff here. I really like this guy, this implementation of Avid controllers. Really good. So I can play from here. Stop. Can change volumes. Solo. Stop. Okay. Anyway, so what's going to happen right now? So if you see me controlling from here, you know what I'm doing. But what's going to happen is that now that I grouped all the drums, you see they all move together. Okay? So if I move them up and down, they all stuck on the same level. Okay? Now that can be good, it's good, but it's not ideal yet because back in the day, Pro Tools, funny, a lot of people don't know that, but back in the day, you would have to have the most expensive version of Pro Tools in order to create VCA channels. Okay, so what is a VCA? VCA is very simple. So when I go here, I'm going to go back to my group, A, B, C, D. Actually, I'm going to delete this group because I used the letter A by accident, right? So when I'm creating the group, and I want to show you guys the right way to do it. So when I create the group, all right, and for those that are on Instagram, go to Sergio Cavalieri YouTube so that you can actually listen to what's going on. Right? Let me see if you can hear this. By the way, let me see how is the session going here. Make sure we got good sound on YouTube. Do we have good sound? Yeah, sounds good on YouTube. Sorry for that, guys. Just making sure we. Facebook also sounds good. So, yeah, going back to what I was saying. So, what's going to happen is that when I am actually creating the groups, while I'm creating, I can create it right away. D for drums. I'm going to use letter D. Why is not going? Yeah, now it went, right? And then I'm going to address that to VCAD, right? Now I have a VCA, which means now I can actually move one fader, one VCA, and all the drum tracks go up and down. So if I solo it, I'm going to hear only drums, okay? So let me go here, and I'll show you guys. I'm going to put this VCA here so you guys can see what's going on. So basically, when I move this VCA up and down, you see all the drums, they're going to move together, okay? And another thing that's going to happen also is that if I create a blend now, for example, if I bring the kick up, right, kick up. Now what I start doing with the tracks individually, they're not going to affect. Let me move myself out of the way here. If I move the tracks now, I move myself down over here, man, so you guys can see it better. Yeah, so now when I move my tracks individually, they're not connected anymore, because they are connected to the VCA. They're not connected between each other, which is great. Okay, so I already did this work. Also, another thing that I did is I actually send all my files, right? All my instruments, I send it to a bus. So the first thing we do is, or the first thing that I did is, so the first thing I did was to color grade all the files. Second thing was to create groups. Third thing, create VCAs. Fourth thing, I'll create all the buses. Okay, let me show you how I bus the channels. Okay, and this thing I learned in France with Michael Brauer when I was at the Mix with the Masters, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have all those groups of instruments, large groups of instruments, right? A lot of drums. This is actually a lot of drums. This a lot of microphones for the drums. And so I'm going to send all the drums. I'm going to come here, select all the drums, and I'm going to send all those Command Shift. Then if I press hold Command Alt Shift, not Command Alt Shift, I can send them to a track. And I already have the track, which is an auxiliary track here called D. Okay. So as you see, I have all my drums coming here. All right. So inside of those drums, so I'm going to do the same thing for the bass, for everything. Okay. So first thing, recapping very quick. First thing I do, color grade everything. Second thing I do, I will create groups for each instrument. I group by instruments. Third thing I do, I create a VCA for the groups. Fourth thing I do, I bus it, meaning every group of instruments is going to go to its own bus. The fifth thing I'm going to do, fifth, is I'm going to create a master fader for each individual auxiliary. Okay, so here in Pro Tools, if I go here, Command Shift N, put it to this holding command I put to the side for stereo, and if I bring it down, I'll see master fader, right? Of course, we have our master fader for all the tracks, but I can create individual master faders for each auxiliary. By doing that, I'm gain staging the send into the auxiliary. All right? Grande Luiz, meu camarada, como você tá, querido? Saudade de você. Na verdade, querendo falar contigo, tem trampo aí para você, cara. Me liga hoje mais tarde. So what's going to happen is that when I have this send to the drum bus, right? I have here this master fader here. I'll show you guys this master fader here. Oops, no, I'm not trying to move that. This master fader here controls the send for the drums. Okay, so if I bring it down here, you see, before the signal arrives at the auxiliary, the master fader control. Why is that? Why is that important? That's that. So with those three elements, with a VCA, an auxiliary per group of instruments, and a master fader per auxiliary, I have a lot of control. I have total control, pre-fader, post-fader, pre-auxiliary, post-auxiliary. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. So right now, if I'm going to put this VCA here so you guys a little better, right? So you see with this VCA, I can control the sound of the drums, okay? And as you can see, with the VCA, I'm going to control all individual faders for the drums, okay? So why is that useful? Because, and how am I going to use it, right? Well, very simple. Start here, and I'm going to start. First of all, I'm going to bring all this down, right? Those drums sound pretty good. This drummer is actually a really good drummer. So I can bring it down. See, then from 0, I'm going to start bringing up faders and create a blend. So I'm going to start with my kick. Okay. Let me hide this track here. She's not part of the mix. So then here I have a second kick probably. And here I have then here I have a hi-hat here. Here I have overheads. No, that's a snare actually. Very good drummer. The name's on the. Okay, so I'm going to create my balance. Let me hear the toms. Because this is kind of, it's like fusion. It's kind of jazzy. I'm not going to clean too much. I'm not going to be cleaning too much because I don't want it to sound too surgical. I want it to sound very organic. Or on the dirty side of things. Good dirty. Let's hear the toms here. Also, this is for a video, right? So in the video, the camera's looking to the drummer, so I'm gonna position the toms like I'm looking to the drums. So hi-hats can be on my right. Usually I like doing the opposite. And this is actually the overhead. Yeah, so I'm gonna. Yeah, so boom, 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 boom. If you're listening and the computer, use headphones. Okay. Now I might bust the overheads too, but for now, I'm just gonna leave it here. Okay, so, and then I can start getting my blend. See here, the drums with all the faders there, it actually sounded pretty good already. So, because this drummer, he balanced very well himself while he's playing, which is an asset. Great drummer. Now, um, another thing I'm going to do here, even before I start creating too much sound, is that I'm going to look at the phase between the pieces, between the microphones, okay? Because this is kind of jazz. There's like there's always like, all right, so let me tell you about it. What happens when you have a lot of microphones like this is that you start having phase problems. What is phasing? Phasing is when the sound of the same sound hit two microphones at different times. Okay, so what's going to happen is that because there's this very slight delay between the microphones, you might have cancellation, which is what we're going to look for right now. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure that the phase between microphones is correct. Okay, so here, as we can see here, we can see the wave, right? Why is that important? Because the speakers, when you have speakers, that wave is that digital diagram there that you see right here, those guys. You actually, that's how this is going to tell the cone and the speaker to move, either outside or inside, right? So when you have, like here, you have this wave here telling it to go to one direction, let's say outside, and this part here telling the cone to do the other direction. What's going to happen? That's going to cancel. It's not going to project the sound correctly. This is not like a flam. It's not like something that you hear. It just doesn't sound right. Okay. So what we're going to do here, for a second, I'm going to turn off this group because while they're grouped, I cannot move them separate, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that, especially on the low end. It's kind of important, right? So let's try to find. And you can hear the phase. There's all kinds of different techniques, you know. People will, put a speaker with a coin on it and see when the coin is jumping. There's all kinds of techniques that you can use for that. In Brazil, there's some very good engineers in Brazil that are very excellent at that. My friend Rico, Luis Aldantes. I'm gonna move it this way here just for fun, just to see what happened here. Let's see. And actually, there's a tool. There's tools that show you phase, right? So you can use those tools. I mean, you can spend a lot of time doing that, which I'm not going to spend a lot of time now, right? Because we're just see which one has a good one. I think I have all my plugins on this one. Waves should have it, right? Pass Analyzer. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad either. I really like for that the Flux plugins. Pass Analyzer. Let's see. Yeah, so this is usually going to show you like when there's anti-phase, you see, especially when you have like snare in. Yeah, like that. It's not too bad for me, to be honest. All right. Okay, so good. See, so I slide it just a little, just to make it a little more phase cohesive. It's not like you solve the problem of phase. You just screw it in a different way where it is still problematic, but it doesn't bother you as much. Now, here I'm going to bus the kick. I'm going to put the kicks on a bus. For that, I create a new channel. I'm going to use a stereo channel just because. Actually, no, let's use a mono channel. And this is going to be kick bus. Okay, and then this kick bus, I'm going to send it back to that drum bus. Okay, then I'm going to have, see those names here. Yeah, so I have the kicks here. Snare drum. That's tom. Those are toms. Yeah, the names are not very clear on this snare bottom. This is a bottom snare. East Bay. It's like an over, but we're gonna put him here. This looks like a hat. A little bit in the middle. Just a little. Thank you, Rodrigo. This overheads. I'm going to put it back there together with the bay. As you can see, a lot of the sound of the drums comes from the overhead, from the farm microphones. Those tones, I'm going to put them together. Kind of changing a little the color so I can recognize. I can see easy. Let's create a Tom's bus. Created a mono by accident. We want a stereo, so send it to a new track, which is going to be a stereo track. Tom's bus. Okay. this buzz go into the drums again. Okay. Snare drum, hi-hat, bottom snare, top snare. Okay. The snares, I'm going to send it to its own bus. Snare drum bus. For those that send me mix, if you watch this video and you learn how I do it, you're going to save me a lot of work, a lot of time. Probably I'm going to charge you less. Okay. Now all the overheads, I'm going to send the hi-hat to the snare bus, snare drum bus. Because a lot of the good sound of the snare comes from the hi-hat. A lot of the drum sounds is the good drum sounds is the bleed. You know, I don't have a problem with bleed. It just have to be good bleed. So I'm gonna call that far overhead bus. That's actually overhead and room bus. Okay, so right now we're just organizing the files so that we're gonna have a lot of control. Diego. Now here on the bus, okay, so we have it all organized. Already kind of addressing the drums, which is one of the most not complicated, but it's a lot of instruments, so it takes a lot of instruments. So same thing. Okay, guitars, keyboards. All right. What we're gonna do now is that I like mixing E2 compression. I like having something on my mix bus. So it's for me, it's like, okay, let's talk about that. Some people like mixing with nothing on the two bus. All right. When I used to mix on a console, an analog console, we always have that SSL compressor from the console, and it was always a certain sound. So I got used to that. I got used to mix into something. Also, I realized that a lot of times I would do my mix and I would send it to master, and then the master engineer would change a lot the sound. It's like when you're painting a clown in a balloon. It's much easier to blow the balloon first and then paint and try to paint the clown, and then when you blow, it gets all twisted, you know. So I like mixing into a master chain, all right. And so I have the plugins that I use for that, you know. So today we're going to use the Waves as a cell compressor. Why not? It's a great compressor. And I'm going to use actually there's a preset here that I like a lot. Okay, so I have this preset here. I'm also going to have Something more vibey, something more like, could be the vitamin. Let's take vitamin. Vitamin. And also because it is that kind of sound, let's add something more vintage, more like, let's see what this is. Nothing. Let me use some tape here. Some tape set Studer. Yeah, let's try this Studer. Yeah, some good. So before, after. Find a nice preset. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so without those, with this. It's probably very high, but actually I found out that this actually makes me do less. Realize I was not sure. So basically I'm using here 3 plugins. Basically more for color than anything. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to start working with bass. All right, so I already did gain staging for this session. A lot of the times, most of the times, when people send me the mixes, they send the audio, when they record the audio is too loud. We always record too loud, especially if they're doing a home studio or something. They usually record too loud. So I like bringing down the volume a little, making it minus 18, minus 20 sometimes, okay? Now, I'm going to use some parallel compression. Actually, on the kick, I'm going to use this guy. Let me try this channel here. I like that. Before. After. Gonna actually use the same on the snare. A little more crack on the snare. Okay. On the bottom snare, I'm going to use the 160. Let me see, 160. dBx 160. On the bottom, I like it a lot. Okay. Okay, so I already have a compressor on my two bus, but I'm gonna compress all the drums together now. All right. For that, I'm gonna use. Let's see how the 1176. Yeah, just making the cymbals a little longer. Making drums a little beefier. And now I'm going to use an API EQ. $10K. Just a little. Okay, I'm happy with it. I'm going to put a limiter on my two bus. Let's go with LA2. L2. Or maybe, you know what? The wells. I'm still trying to get something more, a little more aggressive than the two bits. L2. Okay, I like that. Let's go for the bass. Okay. Bass, I'm going to use the gray compressor. Let's see how it goes. I don't need a lot of sub frequency in the bass, contrary to what a lot of people think. I prefer to hear more sub frequency in the kick than in the bass. So I'm going to let's try to EQ. Hear the guitars. Guitars need help. One of the things that I'm going to send all those buses, I'm going to send to another bus. Okay. And that bus I'm going to call master feed. It's just one last stage before the master. Okay. And the reason for that is because I can actually give it a little less processing before. Try to use this. Now here, there's a lot of guitars. I didn't play those guitars, so a lot of guitar. So I gotta kind of interpret what he was doing in order to understand who's the main. And also, I'm gonna use a virtual amp here because those guitars sound like they were recorded straight to the mixer. So I'm going to use this guy here, this archetype. Let's see how it sounds. Diego Weapons. Why is it not going? Yeah, this one's not going to work, so let me get another one. Get the GTR. Waves GTR. Yeah, I like this one. Before. is that I'm going to build my mix around the three main elements, which is drums, bass, and the vocals. In that case, there's no vocals, so the vocal is going to be the guitar because the guitar is the artist on this track, right? So a guitar player called Haitian guitar player called Guy. He's a great guitar player, very good, amazing virtuoso. So see here, for example, in my head, I like to hear the song with those three elements. With the drums, bass, and guitar, you should hear the whole song. You should be able to recognize the song. You know, if my mom walks in and I'm mixing and there's just bass, drums, and the vocals, she should be able to hear and not miss anything. I say my mom because she's not a professional musician or a mixing engineer. In that sense, someone that's not like really paying attention should be able to just hear the whole song, because that's the tripod for the song. That's the that should sustain the song. So let's before, after. Okay, starting to get somewhere. And I'm gonna put some delays and reverbs. I'm just gonna only place the auxiliary on the track, but I'm not gonna send it at all. I'm just going to have that in the tracks, because if I start hearing something that I want to create some ambience, I have it there. Reverb. And those effects I'm going to EQ to. Just to make them, I like EQing the effects, the very low end, the very high end of the effects, I EQ them off, right? Clean them all up. All right. Simple EQs. Q6. VCA for them. I have a VCA for the parallel compression here that I'm not really using yet. Compression. Let me create a VCA for the percussion. So here, Command Shift N for a new track, and I'm going to select VCA, and here I'm going to call it PVCA for percussion. So here I'm going to address that to the group, and I'll be able, oops. What's the name of that group? P. Where is that? Let's see it. It's because they are as comp. That's the problem. Modify. Those guys should not be here. Remove them. Boom. And there should be the parallel compression. Those guys should. Boom. Now for the percussions, we're going to create another group called P. Pay. There they are. And we're going to use compression. I use the L3. I like the Teletronics LA38 because for me it makes everything sounds very organic. Like those percussions, it holds the transient and increase the tail of the note, so I make it sound much more organic right away. Pay attention how you all of a sudden you hear more ambience, and it separates it more from the drums also. Without with. Sound much farther back in the mix. I'm sure. So before, after. Cool. Let's hear with the guitar. For the bass. And what we're going to do with those drums, the percussion, we're also going to use a stereo. I'm going to use a stereo delay, and I'm going to delay just a little to make them feel open outside the speakers. Half effect or whatever they call it. So let's see how it goes. Way outside. Because the middle is going to be. I'm going to send that percussion guitar in the middle. But second voice you have to be low because this is a video. Keyboards. We're going to use the API. What is the API before? Especially for the piano. For the piano, there's a little trick that I learned from a very incredible engineer. That was my mentor in France with the pianos, with the API. I'll show you right now. API EQ. You can do that with a hardware, but you can do that with a software too. Software is pretty good. So the API, eight and 7K. By itself, it sounds a little bright, right? But in the context, it's just going to make it This guy's loud. We're using American distortion. It's a nice very good point. Actually, this song is already mixed, but I wanted to show you guys those details. And that's more like the preparation, but I end up going into the mix. So hope you guys enjoy. If you know someone that will like that kind of content, share and subscribe. And for those on Instagram, please go to YouTube or Facebook, because on the Instagram, I know you don't see much. Okay? But that's a way for you guys to let know what's going on YouTube and Instagram. Okay? Guys, have a great day and see you on the next.